Give me 1 second here. Okay. All right. So I have to reshare that screen now. Okay. Let's see. Where'd it go? There we go. Nope, I'm not sharing that. I'm sharing that. Okay. There we go. All right. So we are not using the accounting equation because the accounting equation is a confusing way to learn how to do accounting. So the thing to remember when we are looking at the accounting equation, I'm going to give you a short example of why it's really confusing to use it in the beginning. So you haven't learned the debit and credit rules yet. And in the process of learning the debit and credit rules of the accounts, it's difficult to keep things straight sometimes. So you're going to have notes on that for your exam and notes to help you with your homework. Now, some of them will come after a while. You'll use the accounts so many times, you'll automatically know what they are. But every once in a while, there'll be a new one and it'll be kind of confusing. But I'm going to show you this as an example as to why we don't use the accounting equation in this class to learn in the beginning. So if we look at this slide here, we see that it's showing event number 2, and it says on October 1, Sierra borrowed $5,000 from Castle Bank by signing a 3-month, 12% $5,000 notes payable, okay? And if we look down below, we're going to see that we have, it says $5,000 plus cash and $5,000 plus notes payable. Now, what they're trying to indicate in the book here is that cash is going up because we borrowed money, and notes payable is going up because now we owe somebody money that we borrowed, right? But where the confusion comes in is that some accounts have credit balances and some have debit balances. So a lot of people see a plus sign and they equate it to a debit, and they see a minus sign and they equate it to a credit. Now, if you were to do that and you were to look at this, a plus sign to cash, a debit to a cash account would make cash go up. But a plus or a debit to notes receivable, or I'm sorry, not notes receivable, notes payable. Notes payable is a liability. Liabilities have a credit balance. So the way that you make a liability account go up is that you debit it. The way you make a liability account go down is that you credit it. So this is where it gets really, no, I just said that totally wrong. Scratch all that. Notes payable is a liability. A liability account has a credit balance. In order to make a liability go up, you have to credit it. In order to make a liability go down, you have to debit it. You do the opposite of the normal balance. So what happens is that if you were to debit notes payable right here, you would actually make notes payable go down. But really, we want notes payable to go up. We want notes payable to go up because we now owe money. And so what the transaction would be is we would debit cash $5,000 and we would credit notes payable $5,000. Okay, so this is just one example of why we don't use the debit credit rules for the learning how to do the entries, okay? Oops, I accidentally stopped share. That's not what I meant to do. Go back.